When I first saw the game, I was like, someone apparently hung out with Tumblr users about 10 years ago, and
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
you have clarified that for me. That is indeed the case. Um, it is. I actually find both that element of the game and that element of contemporary culture both fascinating and a little bit interesting as a game mechanic. Uh, to go in a little bit, like uh, I do think, as far as like young people go, letting them, as if we could stop them, larp their
Right.
politics out is perfectly fine. Actually, I mean, like, um, but it is interesting where this goes, and it's something that Jason is constantly critiquing. Jason's big critique is like, well, so much of this stuff is uh is politics that's actually like identitarian culture for like music, or what music was in the 80s and 90s for
Yep.
younger kids today.
Totally.
I do find it interesting how already, though, like some of these ideologies that you have in here have already feel a little bit out of like, well, uh I don't know that many primitivists anymore.
Mm.
But um
Primitivists aren't cool anymore because people like toothpaste. They're like
um
3 days of trying to brush your teeth with tree bark. You're gonna give that up pretty quickly.
but I did find that interesting as um I, a way to market the game. I have to say the cards kind of trip me out. The art on the cards are both very good, but also like they're funny to imagine these characters that I'm used to dealing with online as like fantasy art. 'Cause I can't like the Thor bear as an anarcho primitivist is probably like my favorite thing ever. But it yeah.
The art is it's kind of remarkable that some of the things fit so well into it. It's been an interesting thing because I mean I am a practicing artist. Like that's my I'm my job, in that no one earns a living for making art, but it's a lifelong pursuit, and you have a presence in different institutions and so on. The images to me are kind of like they're like entertaining memes, I feel like, where they're pulled from this enormous data set. They're all made with like Midjourney and different types of like AI imaging tools that are pulling from this enormous data set of the genre of fantasy art. And so, what I think was revealed through that process, which was probably apparent before, but then just becomes very easy to visualize, is that all of these themes are already implicit. They're already contained within that art, within those aesthetics, and within that data set, very literally speaking. And so, with merely the instructions to thematize them in colors, where you give social democracy red and white armor, or you give anarcho-primitivism black and green leather armor, and so on. It's in some cases really surprising just how well they fit, and it's probably because we've taken in, just as you're saying, all of these different like PFP anime character type of people on social media that just literally look like this. Actually, like they look like they've got their little character that's in your party when you're logged into the game. So yeah, it was a fun process to say the least.
So, do you want to explain the color selection, and then maybe we can go into some of the individual character card types that come up in the game? Because I think the audience will get a kick out of this. So,
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. Do you would you Art House Politics, I see in the chat. Actually, that was a great YouTube channel when they were making content. I really, really enjoyed those. That's a deep cut. Could I potentially I'll share my screen actually to show some images here, because it might be easier if there's like a visual display. Some of
Sure.
these are like XY grids and so on.
sure,
Okay,
sure.
so I'll share my screen 1 second. There we go. Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna open up this shared screen. Here we go.
Oh, sure, go ahead. Yeah, okay. So this is, if you haven't seen it before, this is the box of the game. It's a little annoying to focus my webcam on it, but you can see the box. And on the top of this is kind of exactly what we're talking about, is this meme that has been circulating for quite a while. Many people have made this connection, not just myself. It's often depicted as, I'll show you the proper meme itself. These are subjective assessments. Because I'm the author of the game, I chose to put the left-wing characters in the good category. And if you disagree, fuck you. I'm the one who published the game, so you can make your own. You know what? It's open source. You can scan the cards, change them however you want. So the classic Dungeons and Dragons alignment grid is here overlaid with the political compass. So I'm sure anyone who has found their way to this stream is probably familiar with both of these so far. But to give just the super condensed explanation, you have the conventional XY grid for the political compass, if you're left to right axis, and then you have your authoritarian to libertarian axis, role of the state, authority versus liberty, and so on. Overlaid with that is the conventional character alignment grid from Dungeons and Dragons, where you will choose a ethical and moral alignment, being lawful, neutral, or chaotic, and in addition to that, being good, neutral, or chaotic evil. So what I did in this game is I mapped all of the different political ideologies, which is what these teenage meme posters do through like every meme they post is basically mapping different political ideologies, either of historical figures or podcasters and Twitch streamers and whatever. I did choose the, yes, chat, I chose the classic purple because I think the contemporary yellow interpretation for libertarian right is just, it's not, it wasn't hitting the right way. So each of these characters I plotted to a specific quadrant, a box, I should say. It's no longer a quadrant in this political compass. And you can choose to play. So as we begin the game, you are choosing a political ideology, something that resonates with you. Maybe it's something that you want to try out for the first time that you're curious about. Maybe you just you despise this ideology, you hate them the most, and so you think it would be fun to play as that character, and so on. So I'm going to take you just through the different classes that are in the game, and then I'll mention their fantasy character classes that they're paired with as part of this introduction. So lawful good is state socialism, which is the artificer, the kind of technology engineer type of character. Has a lot of abilities that synergize with both the lawful axis and the good axis. We're going to go down the good column here as we explore. We have primitive communism, and we have social democracy in the neutral good axis. Chaotic good is anarcho-communism. Now moving across the chaotic row, we have anarcho-primitivism and civil libertarian. Further over, we have anarcho-capitalism. Moving up the evil column, paleoconservatism, techno-feudalism, and then we have eco-fascism at lawful evil in the top right. And then we have civic nationalism and market socialism as the lawful neutral. Okay, so this is the whole array of characters here. So I'll stop sharing my screen now that I've kind of brought you through these different political alignments, but maybe the thing to mention or to make clear is that these political alignments, the different chaotic or lawful or good or evil, are your shared win conditions in the game. So if you were, for example, the anarcho-communist and you're in the lower left-hand corner, at some point in the game, there's going to emerge a conflict where you have to choose to either throw your lot in with the good characters, state socialism, primitive communism, social democracy, and so on, or with the chaotic characters, anarcho-primitivism, civil libertarian, and anarcho-capitalism. So the politics at the table then becomes, how much do you trust the players who have multiple alliances? Will you throw your lot in with them? Will you choose to work towards a common goal? Or might you betray your alignment? You could play as if you're working with one side of the team and then stab them in the back, go share a win condition with another side of the team. The maximum way to achieve points in the game is to get utopia. And utopia is when you are the only surviving player. So throughout the game, there are incentives to collaborate, to participate alongside one another, and then also to betray your opponents at the last moment. And this creates really interesting dynamics at the table where people will participate. They'll kind of go along with their friends as if they're working alongside them. Then they'll betray one group, throw their lot in with the other. And then at the last moment, they'll stab their friends in the back. And everybody is kind of selfishly pursuing for their own ideological goals. And for me, this is just a direct analogy to what political conflict is in the real world, is that you're always in these kind of uncomfortable alliances and coalitions that can break apart at any moment and actually do have different goals, but cooperate for a short term so long as they can advance their own interests. That's my that's the gameplay. It's very combat based, and then the competition at the table then becomes politics for the players who are having to negotiate who lives, who wins, who yeah.
Yeah, that's fun. You also align these ideologies to not just character alignments and the traditional political square chart. And man, that thing is old. I've seen that chart since the 90s. I just want to point that out. Like, it's very old.
1972, I believe. Or 1967, yeah. In the on the archive of this. Sorry, this is a deep cut, but the Rampart Journal of Individualist Thought. There's a political compass published in either 1967 or 68, and then 1972 is the world's smallest political quiz, which was a 10-question quiz that plotted you on this 4-axis. So it's like it has cycles on the internet, but it's got even a deeper political history. I think the guy who made it was one of the co-founders of the American Libertarian Party.
I was about to say, originally the shortest political quiz was a way to con you into being libertarian when you weren't. But
if your politics can be summed up in 10 questions, it probably works as well.